week anywhere is a long time, 4 days is longer. We arrived 4 days ago. We all create our own truths and our own fictions. Sincerity is not much of a guide to the nature of things. Faking it may take us further. Thursday. A week anywhere is a long time. Yesterday it was Ailsa and Elsie. Today it is Elaine. Tomorrow it could be anybody at all. We don't know why we bother with such things. Somehow we do. We occupy ourselves with all sorts of strange things. Next door, the telephone rings. It rings and rings. Like someone snoring, it rings and rings. Now it stops. Friday. I thought I knew him very well, but each day I find I know him less and less. It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up between what I take to be his evasiveness and what I may just have to accept as my own capacity, or is it a tendency to think what I want to think? I don't know which is worse. Your evasiveness or my self-delusion. Some people think that they can get away with giving an official version of themselves. What's that, the official version? Mr. Propriety, Mrs. Propriety, your own full political self. There's not much I can say about this. It's a bit of a lost cause. The official is always a bit of a lost cause. Saturday, fancy getting to that age and getting to that age and still not having a clue, he still doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue about anything. That pisses him off, of course, because he knows it as well as anyone. He hasn't got a clue. Nothing. Not a clue. Sunday. Yesterday he was in Quilpie. Yesterday he was in Barcaldine. Yesterday he was in Winton. Yesterday he was somewhere else. The river height in Urundangi is 0.0 metres and falling. The river height in Urundangi is 0.0 metres and rising. What was he doing somewhere else? I have no idea. That's not true. I do know. I know exactly what he was up to. His mother's country. They said it was his mother's country. They wanted a more agreeable claimant than the mob they had there already. They thought he would do. He thought he would do also. There was satisfaction all round, but not from the other mob. They thought it was just another massacre. Another massacre in a long line of massacres. The average river height in Urundangi is 0.0 metres. Monday. today we went shopping. I never go shopping. At the delicatessen counter they gave out tickets to see who was first in the queue. There was no queue. The sliced meats remained silent. There's nothing quite as silent as sliced meats. Not unless it's the boneless chicken thighs set out in rows. The chicken breasts are merely bland. They lie there not quite expectant, like sacrificial virgins. The tomatoes are pretend, he said. The avocados, they're pretend. The detergent, it's pretend. The toilet paper, it's pretend. Pretend toilet paper. Pretend carrots. Pretend mandarins. Everything pretend. Too bad about that, said the woman at the checkout. The prices are not pretend. That's all right, he said. The prices can be whatever they are, but my payment, that's pretend. Incidentally, do you have any pretend cane toads? Tuesday, the double bass sat in the front seat. It wasn't ideal, but it was better than being jammed in the boot. The double bass looked around. At least it pretended to look around. All he could see was sugarcane with pink fluffy tops, miles and miles, and creeks called Halfway Creek. It cheered up as the weather got warmer. The warmer the weather got, the happier it was. I could live here, it said. I could live here amid the large green leaves of the north. All fantasy, all fantasy. Well, there are worse fantasies. New climates need new sounds, said the double bass. It was still reeling from the fact that some ignorant person had called it a cello. Yes, a new sound, something like the sound of sugarcane burning, or the sound of cyclones ripping through the trees, or fatal endeavours crunching on coral, or the sound of an electric shaver scything through a 3-day growth. Falling leaves, there is nothing like the sound of falling leaves. They wanted to sell their pet octopus to the Russians. The octopus is, as any Neapolitan will tell you, very smart. It will follow you with its eyes, and if you visit the aquarium, which is very famous, it will follow you round the room with no fish is safe. The auguries are not bright, the omens are unclear, but rather on the ominous side, which is not surprising. The signs are vexed and wayward. Though the Russians require their own interpreter of signs, the intensity of the coming winter, the price of vodka, a good price to sell gas at. The octopus has ink, but does not write. In the presence of the octopus, there is one requirement, and one requirement only, to dictate your own history.